Hi everybody, Fintan here from Damson Cloud, and this week I want to talk to you guys about our top tips for video conferencing, something that we've all been doing quite a lot of lately. If you want to know more, you know what to do. Stay tuned. Okay, so one of our first areas is just some general tips on video conferencing. If you're joining a new video conferencing solution, sometimes some of the equipment that you have, like your microphone, maybe your camera, your lighting, might actually look a little bit different. And it's important if you're joining something that you haven't used before, maybe Zoom or Google Meet or Microsoft Teams, that you kind of check the setup before you actually join the meeting, which a lot of these video conferencing tools allow you to do. And that's definitely very useful to maybe avoid the usual embarrassment of my microphone's not working when you join the meeting. The other one is to consider your surroundings. So is there any background noise? I've got the Lewis going past outside here, so I've got to make sure that the windows are closed and just making sure that there isn't going to be any distractions. I know some people during COVID, when they were started working from home, started to put a little sign outside their office so that their family maybe knew that they were having a meeting, and the kids hopefully decided not to interrupt them. And then the last one is just thinking about your video conferencing links and making sure that you're sharing it with the right people so that only those who are supposed to be in the meeting actually join the call. Next up, we have wardrobe. And I think wardrobe is kind of important if you're in a professional setting, but I wanted to give you some tips on some particular items of clothing that maybe aren't a good idea when it comes to video conferencing, particularly things with stripes or repeating patterns. I have a lovely red stripy t-shirt, which maybe I'll throw up a photo of for ourselves for a bit of B-roll, but whenever I wear it in Google Meet, I find that my camera picks up on it and it creates this kind of strange repeating look. And so I definitely recommend that stripes are out and any sort of repeating patterns. Also, if you're using the kind of blurred or fake backgrounds, it's good to have a contrast in the colors between what you're wearing and whatever the background is. So if you've got a black wall, you want light colors. If you've got a light colored wall, you probably want dark colors. Otherwise, you're going to become the background, which you might have seen happen sometimes in calls. The next area is going to be lighting, and you need to make sure that lighting is in front of you. At the moment, I've got a really, really bright light here in front of me. And so that's filling my face and making sure that I'm brighter than the background behind me. Now I do have a window just behind me, but because the light in front of me is brighter, it's okay, and we've actually covered off the light behind. I know for a lot of people, they may have less control over their home office environment. Make sure that if you can, you're sitting in front of the window, and remember to look at yourself. I often find people don't do that. They don't check themselves in a video call before they join, and they don't realize that sometimes I've joined a call and it looks like maybe one of those criminal videos where someone's trying to hide their identity, where they have a huge amount of light behind them and then that darkens themselves and makes them obviously not look as good on camera. The other thing to avoid is any sort of bright lights that are overhead, particularly in kitchens and things like that. You might have overhead spotlights. If you've got a lot of them and light colored walls, that light will kind of bounce around, but it will cause a lot of shadowing if you have a very, very bright light above. So again, another tip there from a lighting point of view. Next up, we have kind of other equipment and positioning. So I would definitely recommend wearing a set of headphones. I always wear headphones when I'm in a video call, particularly with a lot of people. It just ensures that there's less echo and background noise. But also think about your microphone. How close is your microphone to you? I know some people will sometimes have their microphone much too close, and then there almost looks like they're trying to eat it, and you will get distorted sound and breakup of sound for people then. And you really want to make sure that it's away from you. Make sure that it's maybe not down here. Sometimes I've been on a couple of calls where you can hear people breathing into the microphone, which can sound a little bit creepy. So just the positioning of your microphone is really, really important. Now, if you guys haven't, please do subscribe to our YouTube channel. We just hit 2,000 subscribers actually, so we're really, really happy about that. But we want to get to 5,000, so if you haven't subscribed, please do. Thinking about the video feed and when to have it on. In very, very large meetings, it's definitely okay to turn off your video feed, and I think a lot of people do that by default. But if you're in a small meeting, it helps to engage the audience and the group of people that you're with. I know myself, whenever I'm in a video call, I always turn my video feed on, and particularly if there's only 3 or 4 or 5 or even up to 10 people in a call, it means that you're going to be more memorable. People are going to engage with you more if they can see you. So if it's possible, definitely do turn on your video. Now, backgrounds is something that people are concerned about when they think about actually having their video feed on. Personally, I think natural backgrounds, as in the background of the room you're in, makes a lot more sense than having a fake background. Do make sure that it's tidy. So here behind me, I have some objects. It hopefully doesn't look too messy. You know, if your background does have too much stuff in it, make sure you can kind of clean it up. You don't want it to be distracting, but also it can be kind of nice to have stuff that maybe is personal behind you that sort of says a little bit about who you are. There's one of our customers who's mad into comics, and whenever I join a call with him, I love to talk about the array of comic book figurines and things like that, and superhero figurines that he has in the background. So, you know, I think a lot of times it helps us to connect with the individual that we're on the call with. Now, having said that, if you are in a situation where maybe, you know, you've got other people in the room, or you feel that, you know, your room is too messy and you've got to maybe hide it, a fake background is fine. Again, thinking about stuff like the contrast with your clothes. If the background is a similar color, then again, the fake background is going to work a lot better. Blurred backgrounds, I think, is a good compromise, where it's just sort of making that kind of bokeh effect on a camera and blurring out the background without sort of turning on one of the fake ones. So that's generally my preference. The next area is about your laptop positioning and eye contact for your camera. So I think it's really important for me that you have your webcam at eye level if it's possible. If this is your laptop, then I would recommend a laptop stand. You can buy a laptop stand now from IKEA from 2 or 3 quid, right up to kind of whatever you want to spend. One that will bring it up to, as I said, eye level is generally the best, but anything that raises the height of your webcam will be valuable. If you don't have a laptop stand, go and get a stack of books. You know, if you're just sort of doing a video call from a place where you don't normally, and it will really help to engage your audience. So particularly if you're presenting or you're going to be talking for a period of time, actually making eye contact with the camera will have a huge impact on the engagement with the audience. I'm looking at you guys right now because I'm looking down the lens. If I was looking just below, it feels like I'm not talking to you because I'm looking at the screen, and that's what most people are used to, that our cameras are generally to the top or to the side. And so looking down the lens of the camera, although it's not as advantageous for you, it is definitely better for the other people on your call. Okay, so that's it from us, guys. I hope you enjoyed this week's update, and I hope that it will help you improve your video conferencing experience. If you haven't subscribed to our YouTube channel or our LinkedIn, or indeed any of our other social media accounts, and that is where you are, then please do so. And I will chat to you next week.